What makes a man? Is it the power in his hands? Is it his quest for glory? Give it all you got to fight to the top, so we can know your story. Now you're a man.
Go ahead.
One thing that I wanted to talk about there, considering this is a movie about the making of porn movies, they actually got some porn stars in here. For sure, that we're aware of. Obviously, Ron Jeremy is in this, and he has, he actually has a pretty decent sized part in it. He's through the whole movie. But one in particular that I want to talk about, she's in a couple of scenes and she's through the whole movie, but she's only really actually has any sort of a part in near the very beginning. After that she's just kind of a background character. But her name is Chasey Lane, and she is a porn star that's been doing it for a while. And she was the inspiration for a song from the Bloodhound Gang called The Ballad of Chasey Lane, which is a very, very vulgar song. And I had a little story about it after I found out that that was her. I was like, oh my god, that's Chasey Lane. I know who that is. Because I know this song. When I lived in Missouri, me and my friend Luke used to go out and do karaoke 3-4 times a week, usually. And we went
They had no life.
We were karaoke junkies. And we decided to check out this little place that somebody told us about. Because the person who did the KJ up there, the person who ran the karaoke, was a friend of ours. And she's like, hey, I've got this new place that I'm going to start doing. Why don't you guys come out? Kind of, because she knew that we would come out and do 4, 5, 6 songs a piece. She wanted to try to get the crowd pumped. So we went up there, and the owner of this bar was just not a very nice person. It was a country bar. He didn't want us to do certain songs. He wanted us to censor ourselves. Seriously. So me and Luke decided that we had had enough and we didn't want to be there anymore. But we wanted to leave with a bang, so Luke requested to do The Ballad of Chasey Lane, which, not even kidding, is probably at least 50% curse words. And not just curse words, it's a song written about a porn star. So he got up there and sang it and did not censor himself. And it was the only time that we ever got kicked out of a bar. And we got banned from that bar by the owner. And we warned our friend, the KJ, like, yeah, we're gonna do this or we're probably gonna get kicked out, but it's a principle thing. She's like, it's okay, I've got a contract to do this. I was like, all right. It was great. It was a good night. But I just wanted to share this with you guys. You guys probably don't care, but it was very funny at the time. Very, very funny. Anyway.
Well, speaking of funny, lots of funny lines in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of funny situational scenes. Situational scenes, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, funny situations. Some that it's just so off the wall, and you're just like, what? That's, no. Like when Ben, Choto Boy, and Joe were discussing meeting up later that night to have dinner and look at the lab, which they discovered the Orgazmo, the actual real Orgazmo.
Yeah.
They're having this conversation. Choto Boy is eating Pop-Tarts, or Happy Tarts.
Happy Tarts.
Because they couldn't get actual Pop-Tarts, obviously, but everybody knows what they are. And Joe is just appalled by what he's seeing in front of him. Seeing a 50-year-old woman doing a DVDA shot.
Which, if you don't know what that is, it's okay
It's
Use
okay.
Google.
Use Google because we're not
We're not going to discuss it.
No, yeah, it's disgusting. And he's just like, and Chota Boy's just
Hey, you want to go out for some sushi later?
eating Pop-Tarts.
His literal line. Hey, you want to go out for some sushi later?
Yeah,
And they're just like, okay.
yeah.
How about the scene where Lisa comes back and he's trying to clean his apartment of all the porn stuff?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yes.
His fiance comes back who doesn't know that he's been doing porn, and he's trying to hide all the porn stuff in his apartment while she's not looking.
And when we're talking about porn stuff, we're talking about magazine articles about the show and his John Holmes Award with a dong, you know, literally like this big on a statue.
Yeah.
And
It's just
it's hilarious.
yes.
But one thing I wanted to discuss as I was watching this again, I know we're going to wrap this up because it's running a little bit long,
As usual.
as usual. As I was watching it this time, it's about Orgazmo is a superhero in this porn film,
Mm-hmm.
but it crossed over in like the actual movie Orgazmo, like the actual like movie that we watched, not the movie within the movie. It's a superhero movie.
It really is, and more than that, it's an origin story.
It is. They could totally go back and make another one of these and pick up with.
Especially since they set up for a sequel at the end of the movie.
Yes, they did. Max Orbison gets shot with the Orgasmo rate. I think it's 5 times, 6 times.
6 times.
He has testicles the size of what do you say, Florida oranges, and the doctor, Lloyd Kaufman, is going to have to amputate his pee-pee. And so he's going to become neutered man.
And
The Orgasmo ray will not work on him
Yeah.
because obviously it causes you to orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the name Orgasmorator.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so funny that they had the foresight and wherewithal to make this into a superhero movie, because there is some scenes where they're actually really Orgasmo and Chota Boy out in real life fighting crime.
And at the very end of the movie, they decide that they're going to stay in Los Angeles and clean up Los Angeles, which is perfect because New York gets all the love from superheroes. It's
Yeah.
time for
LA
Los
to-
Angeles. Yeah.
And I'm
I
thinking,
could totally see them taking on some of the Cholo gangs in LA. That would be just epicness.
it would. And I'm thinking, I'm screaming, I was like, why is there no more of this?
Right?
I mean, they're older now. It's been 17 years, probably a little out of shape. But still, the character is there. Make more Orgasmo movies.
You know what I would actually like to see now that I'm thinking about it? Another movie would be great. Make it an animated series.
Yeah.
Not South Park style.
No, make
Well-
it comic book series.
Make it a true comic book animated style series. Like, you know,
Batman Beyond or something.
yeah. No, Batman Beyond is a little too dark. Like for tone, might be more like The Amazing Spider-Man. Something bright and colorful and silly and campy, but totally R-rated.
Do this,
Right?
Matt, Trey. Do this. I know you're working on the Book of Mormon movie right now. I know you are. When you're done with this, please start this. If Seth MacFarlane can have, 1, 2, 3 different animated shows running all at the same time,
And working on 2 different movies right now.
yes, you can do another
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
I know
Totally
I
can.
know South Park takes a long time, but hey, when you're in the off season of South Park, do Orgasmo the animated movie.
Do
or
it as a-
animated series, please, or do it as a web series. Anything,
Yes. Web series. there you go.
please. We're begging you, do this.
Pass it off to South Park Studios. That way all you gotta do is come in and do the voices.
I mean, obviously, their South Park Studios is doing well,
Right?
so
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
okay. Enough of that. Just one quick thing. before we go. For those who've played the South Park Stick of Truth game, which we will be reviewing probably in a month or two, maybe.
Yeah, whenever we get to it.
The Cup of Spell, and if you played the game, you understand this, so we don't need to discuss it. This is where it came from.
Yep.
If you ever wonder, the Cup of Spell came from this.
Yes.
So, thanks for watching. Next week we'll be doing basketball, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whenever. We'll be doing basketball. Trey and Matt's touch on sports movies.
Yes.
They've done musical, they've done porn, superhero/porn. Now we're going to move to sports movies.
And this is my personal favorite out of all of them. So yeah.
So to all of our YouTube followers and people who watch it on Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 Jesus and I love you.
Blessed be.